Why delineating utility tokens is important. It's important to not just say utility tokens can exist. It's important to say who's in charge of regulating them and or who's not in charge. And the reason is if you just say, yeah, utility tokens can exist, they're a thing, then that opens you up to having all kinds of litigation and problems from multiple government organizations sticking their finger in the pie. They all say, oh, that's our purview, we're in charge of that. Oh, that's our purview, we're in charge of that. And you end up, only way you can solve that is to go through the judicial system and try to get some clarification and to litigate that. And that's just an absolute mess. So you have to do more than just say utility tokens can exist. You've got to define, well, who's not in charge of regulating them? How are they, what are some of the stipulations? If you have something in place already, hey, that's how we're going to do it. And in this case, they already do have something because utility tokens are what's called open loop prepaid access. And so because of that, they're already regulated by FinCEN, or Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, which is under the Treasury. And there's also some purview, if you, I guess you'd say, other government organizations can review, but that doesn't mean they necessarily have purview. And that's dependent on how you advertise your utility token. So, for instance, if you cross over certain boundaries, you can open yourself up to being a security, and then you fall under SEC. And if you promise certain things and then just don't deliver and defraud people, then you fall under the purview of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. So there are things that if you step out of bounds with those utility tokens, then you do fall under the purview of other organizations. But as we say, if you're keeping your nose clean, if you're doing it right, then you're only regulated by FinCEN, provided that our suggested utility token amendments from Meadowlark to Senator Daines regarding the market structure bill are implemented. And if those amendments are implemented, then there'll be a smooth, delineated way for it to all work. Now, what would you use a utility token for? What is a utility token? How does that work as a business? As a business, because it's open loop prepaid access, it has hybrid characteristics, and you kind of can use it how you as a business need, how it fits with your needs. So if you want to say, buy our token that our business has created, it can work a bit like a Costco membership, where we say you can't buy our products unless a portion of the transaction is completed with our token. Well, and maybe you only charge one token per transaction or something. But again, that, Costco kind of does that. You can't just go into Costco and shop unless you've got a membership. And you could use it like that. It also makes it so much easier if you're a business and you want to offer kind of a loyalty service, where if somebody is just a really loyal customer, you can gift them some of your tokens and say, you know what, you've just been such a good customer. We want to give you these tokens, and you can use these for a discount on our goods and services. And you can run sales that way. Instead of having to say, oh, bring in your coupon, just say, well, for this purchase, if you would like, 10% off, then complete a portion of the transaction or all of the transaction in utility tokens. You can do things like that with utility tokens. They're really convenient. As far as gift cards, somebody wanted to give you a gift card at your birthday, and then later on they gave you one at Christmas, and then you had to swap between the two in making your purchases or whatever. It can get to be a little bit of a hassle. Oh, please write on the back of my card how much I have left, that kind of a thing. But if somebody wants to gift you utility tokens to a given business, then you just always know, like, you can gift tokens on top of tokens. So they could gift you tokens at your birthday, and they could gift you tokens at Christmas, and you're just going to have one account with a final balance in it. It makes it so much easier. You're not having to carry around, plastic cards and keep track of. It's really great. It's really great that way. Now, in terms of you also, it doesn't just have to be business. You can do this for fundraisers. Instead of doing raffle tickets or something, if you're doing a charitable fundraiser, you can do utility tokens. There's multiple features to these. They really are a hybrid thing. And so you condense all of that instead of having to say, oh, well, we work with this company to get our coupon done, and we work with this company to get our gift card done. And if we want to do a raffle, for Christmas time or something, we do that. You don't have to do all that. You can just condense it all, and then you just use it for whatever feature you want to use it for. So that's really handy. The other thing is, a lot of businesses, I want to say a lot, but a certain amount of businesses offer accounts to their customers. And there's some problems with that. And especially in today's world, it's really nice if you're a business to just settle at the time service is rendered and just be paid. You don't like carrying people 30 days. Some companies will carry 90 days. The customer's using your money. That's what they're doing. They're using your money, and they can make interest off your money. It's, and you say, oh, well, I charge a fee at the end of 30 days or whatever. Yeah, but if it's lower than the interest they can invest in their money somewhere else, then they're going to do that. And you're holding the bag, as it were, until you finally get paid. And there are customers that just intentionally do that to you. They just intentionally do that to you because they want to use your money to make money. and that's a pain. Then there's another type of customer where for them it's the convenience. It's that they can get anybody from the office or the shop or whoever to come in and pick up whatever they need to pick up, and they don't have to send cash with them. They don't have to send credit card with them. They just say, go put it on the company account. Go pick it up, And so that's really convenient. But if you have something like utility tokens, you basically can prepay. You can purchase, you have your own wallet, you've purchased utility tokens, and you can just call up and say, hey, I need to pay for whatever, and pay for it. Now, we can do this now. We can pay over the phone with credit card before sending someone from the shop down to pick something up. You can do that now. But this is another feature of utility tokens, and they give you a certain amount of feedback as a business too. It may not be real detailed feedback, but it gives you some feedback, because if somebody really feels they didn't get good customer service, or they're not happy with the product or whatever, and they feel burned, and they're like, well, forget that. I'm not going back there ever again. Or maybe it's something different. Maybe it's, boy, we're really financially stressed this next bit of time here. We're not going to rebuy in a month or 6 months like we normally do. Well, normally if you're doing, a prepaid access thing or a utility token thing, they make their purchase, and then they go back and they recharge the account. They purchase more tokens. And so if they don't do that, you get feedback right away. The value of our token is maybe going down a little bit. There doesn't seem to be any volume, any demand for it. What's going on? Why aren't our customers recharging their accounts? So it doesn't tell you why, but it does let you know, instead of having to wait 6 months and then see that there's a missed purchase. Oh, what happened? How come they didn't make a purchase? You'd find out fairly quick. Like, you'd find out right after, whenever they typically recharge their account, you find out pretty quick, hey, they're not making purchases here. And then you can get on the phone, make some phone calls and say, hey, is everything okay? And that sort of a thing. So it has some value that way too. And it allows your customers to give you some feedback on how you're doing. Do they like your product? Maybe they don't. And maybe you come out and say, hey, we're going to offer this new product. And you're expecting that people are going to say, oh, well, if that's the case, I'll pre-buy some tokens here. That allows you as a businessman to kind of bootstrap your business, and it allows them to kind of outrun demand, to be a bit early. So, they say, oh, well, I bought my tokens 6 months ago, and the promise was made that it was going to cost X number of tokens, and so I've already reserved my spot in line, and so but if you say, hey, customers, we're going to offer this new thing, and you just hear crickets and nobody buys your token to purchase your new thing, it doesn't take you too long to realize there's just not enough market here for whatever I'm offering. And that's really valuable to know. And, you may want to know the details and the specifics and call around to do that, but there's some real value to it.